What's up, guys? Cwesolo here, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to code in C#. If you didn't see my last video, 5 software you need if you're a game developer, or if you plan on getting into game development, this video is going to be covering coding. Because if you plan to use Unity, you're probably going to need to know how to code in C#. So, what better way to start off Unity tutorials than to to teach you how to code in C#. This series is going to kind of cover a basic level of C#, so we're going to be realistically covering everything from variable types to methods, classes, arrays, and a little bit of that. We're not going to really cover data structures, such as stacks, queues, link structures or ordered lists or anything like that. We're going to just keep everything at a basic level from what you realistically need to know before going into Unity. And I think that this series should cover a majority of everything that you will need. We're not going to be covering anything Unity specific, so nothing with monodevelop or the Unity specific things. We'll have a future video when we get into Unity to cover that. But we're just covering C# at a basic level, and I'll probably end up doing a series for C++ also, because Unreal Engine utilizes blueprints in C++. We're not going to worry about that yet. We're going to worry about getting Visual Studio installed right now. So open up your internet browser of choice and go ahead and work your way over to Google, Bing, or whatever, DuckDuckGo, whatever search engine you like to use, and just simply type in Visual Studio. We're going to be going to Visual Studio's website, and you're going to want Visual Studio for either Mac, if you're on a Mac machine, or Visual Studios for Windows if you are on a Windows machine. You're probably going to just go with the community version. It's free. And we're not going to worry about Visual Studio Code. That's nothing to worry about. So we're going to just download Visual Studio Community 2019. It's the most recent version. If you are watching this in the future, there may be a 2020 version or a 2021 version or whatever the most recent version is. Just go and install that version. All right. We're going to install it. It's going to open up a screen like this, and you're going to click yes, and it's gonna pop up that I already have it. So I already have it. You're gonna go through the installation process, continue, and it's gonna just do all of its things, and I'm gonna cancel because I already have this installed. So yeah, after that you will probably end up opening up Visual Studio, and it's gonna look something like this. You're not gonna have any projects here. These are my previous projects from school, so we're not gonna worry about that. From there, you're going to create a new project. So once you have this screen and you're all done installing, pause the video if you're still installing it, and just come back when you're done installing and you have this screen in front of you. We're going to click Create New Project, and you may end up on a screen like this where it shows all languages. Just come up to here and find C#. And we are going to be making a console application, so it'll be this one right here. And we're going to click Next. We're going to name this... I'm going to probably end up using the same project name for all the tutorials, so we're going to just name this Tutorial Series. And we're going to just... we're going to call it that. We're going to change the location to... not my schoolwork. Let's see here. I'm probably gonna just end up storing it on a folder in my desktop somewhere, or my documents. That works too. Actually, even better yet, we'll go to my C drive and install it here, where it normally would be installed. I think it typically puts them in here. So there we go. That would be the normal location that it's going to be storing your projects. If you have elsewhere you want to store them, you can store them. If you have like secondary drives, you can store them on your secondary or tertiary drives. If you have multiple drives. If not, just keep the default location. It's not going to be a big deal. All right. We're going to click create, and from there, it's going to make ourselves a nice little project. It's going to come up with some basic stuff here. So we have a namespace, a class. So this is the class. It's just simply program, and we have our main method. I am going to expect that by the time we get to methods, you should probably know how to create your main method from scratch. We're not going to worry about that now. All we're worried about is making this program work, right? We want to make it output to the console. Now, this already is going to output to the console. It's going to just pop up with hello world. And it'll sit here like this. And it'll say hello world. But we're going to do a little bit more than that. And we're going to get our feet a little dirty here with some code, some actual code. This is actual code, but a little bit of typing it in yourself and getting the feel of it. So we're gonna start off, and we're gonna type in console. Now, the nice thing about Visual Studio is that if it has the option there, you can hit tab, and you can it'll automatically put it in for you. So we're gonna do console that right line. We're gonna do little parentheses, quotations, because that's what's going to be outputted to the console. And we're going to put my name is what do we want to name here? We're going to put we'll put my name is computer, comma, how are you today? And then a semicolon right at the end. So the main thing that is the thing here. So after almost every line of code that you're going to be writing, you're going to have a semicolon at the end of that. So except for methods, if statements, loops, and various other things that we'll be using in the future, that you wouldn't be using a semicolon at the end because they're doing something a little different. But most scenarios, you need to have a semicolon at the end of every line of code that you write. It's almost like when you're writing. When you're writing a paper or you're actually doing some sort of writing, whether you're texting, emailing, whatever, you always put a period at the end of your sentences, right? Some kind of, thing to mark that, hey, this is the end of my sentence. Well, it's the same thing with code here. When you're writing code, it's the same thing. You write a line of code, you have to end it with some sort of thing that marks that being the end of that line of code and or sentence of code. That way the computer knows that it is this is the line of code. This is the single line of code. Now, you can do weird things with code. Like I can do this, and we can butcher this like this, and this is still going to run. This is still going to work the same way that it did in a single line. The computer doesn't care how messy this looks. I do suggest making your code look nice. It should be readable. So you're probably going to want it to look readable and not like this, especially if you're going to be coming back to it and reading it in the future. You're not going to want it to be a mess like what I just made. So another thing we're going to quickly go over is comments. This is something that is going to help you maintain readable text, or readable code, especially if someone else is looking at your code. If you're working a job in the future, potentially, computer science job, you're a programmer or something along those lines, or even better yet, you're an indie game developer and you have another person working with you, or several other people working with you, you're going to definitely want to have readable code, and you're going to want to comment what these things do. So 2 backslash, I think that's a backslash, or slashes. No, that's not a backslash. That's 2 slashes, and we're going to just write, this is a write line statement. Here we go. So I just put down what it is, and then you can also comment up here, right above your method, this is the main method. So there you go. And then we can click save, and the green will tell you that it is saved. Visual Studio actually comes with a variety of useful tools that we may end up using in the future in this series. Debugging is quite useful. We'll get into that probably later. It's very useful and very nice to have. Your save functions and your open functions are all right here. If you want to start the program, you click this nice little button. There is also a shortcut for it too. If I think it's F6. No, it's F5. It's F5 to start your program, to run your program. And there's various other things here. And if you ever need help, you can also just open up the help thing, and there's probably a variety of things you can do. And you can also search for whatever settings you're looking for here also. So yeah, if you need to undo something, you have undo and redo up here. And I think that's just about everything in a basic level that's probably going to be useful for us for now. So if you did like the video, do leave a like, comment if you have any thing to say. If you need any assistance, I will try to help as best as I can. If the installation process is unclear, please do let me know, and I will make, I guess, an in-depth video on installation and Visual Studio. It should be straightforward. Just click next until it's installed. It may ask you what you want to install. If you're using Unity, you're probably going to want to install it for Unity development also. And also, if you're using Unreal, same thing. I think they do have a screen for that. You might get something like this here when you install it. Just real quick. I'm not sure if this is the same thing, but you might end up getting something like this. This needs to update anyway. So we'll just quickly update this. So when you're installing, when you're finished installing it, you might get or while installing, you might get a similar screen that's going to pop up here, asking what you want to install. I guess my Visual Studio needs updating. You'll probably get something like this, or something like that. So yeah, if you like the video, comment if you leave a like, comment if you have anything to say. Subscribe if you want. If you like the content that I'm making and would like to see more game development content. And yeah, thank you, and I'll see you next time.